Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. John Owen talks about sports and movies. Thank you for checking out today's video. I always appreciate the support. Let's get into it. So this week has been a really busy week in sports. I feel like it's the first really busy sports week we've had in a while. So I just wanted to make a video kind of recapping it all and giving my thoughts on it. So today we're going to talk about Earl Thomas, Leonard Fournette, Chris Paul, the Rockets, and Steve Nash. Alright, so make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments below and all this, and let's get into it. So first, I'm going to start off with Earl Thomas. I know that he got released last week from the Ravens, but it's been something that's been weighing on my mind. I've been waiting on him to sign with the team, but it hasn't happened yet. And I think that mainly comes down to his kind of tumultuous past 18 months. From the terrible ending with his tenure from the Seahawks, from the slight decline in his pay with the play with the Ravens, and then his ultimate release after fighting with teammates and just a lack of focus and overall within the organization. I really feel like it's been kind of a fall for grace from Earl Thomas. He used to be definitively the best safety in the league, without a doubt. The leader of the Legion of Boom and everything like that. Excuse me. But now that, he's been released, and it's just kind of weird to see him on the market and not him being just a super hot commodity or anything like that. And it's just kind of weird, but I feel like Earl Thomas may, kind of get his head out of his butt and kind of come to the light and realize that his behavior is just not going to work. The NFL is too good. There's too many good players for him to act a fool like that. So hopefully he'll come to his senses and everything like that. So as far as teams that might sign him, I think definitely the two biggest suitors are the Cowboys and the Chargers. The Chargers just lost Derwin James, their starting superstar safety, again to injury. He'll be out the whole year, so they'll need someone to replace him. And then the Cowboys, they've been touting each other for a long time now. If you remember back in 2017, Earl Thomas told the Cowboys to, quote-unquote, come get him. And so they've always been on each other's radar for a long time, so I could definitely see him ending up in one of those two places. All right, our next topic we're going to talk about is Leonard Fournette signing with the Bucs. A lot of people were making a really big deal out of this. I think it's a fine signing. I think Leonard Fournette's not as good as he hasn't lived up to expectations or anything like that. He's still a solid rusher. In 3 seasons, he's had 2 1,000-yard rushing seasons, so that's pretty solid. And I think he's just another good weapon for the Buccaneers. With him and Ronald Jones and LaShawn McCoy in the backfield, they'll definitely have a good backfield by committee. They'll like to run the ball, just be like it was in New England and Tampa. And then the pressure won't be on him. Obviously, the box is never going to be too loaded because the Buccaneers have Tom Brady and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin and Gronk and O.J. Howard. They're just full of weapons. So I feel like Leonard Fournette's going to have good opportunities to make some good runs and everything like that. So he won't be facing stacked boxes. So I could see his numbers, maybe not his overall numbers rise, but his yards per carry and just his averages go up. So I think that Leonard Fournette sign with the Bucs is a good picking up for the boys down in Tampa Bay. All right, now on to some bigger news, some NBA-related news. I just want to give 2 quick shout-outs to Chris Paul and then the Rockets. I'll start off with Chris Paul. Chris Paul has really just had an outstanding season. After getting traded to the Thunder, he's considered washed. He had a really kind of sour ending with Houston and James Harden and everything like that. And they weren't even sure if they were going to keep Chris Paul. They might waive him or trade him again. But they kept him, and it was ultimately the best decision for the franchise. The Thunder only had a .2 chance of making the playoffs this year. They were predicted to be in a rebuild and not be very good. And Chris Paul came in and he changed the entire culture. I think that Chris Paul can be abrasive at times, but it's just because he's so competitive. I think he found a group of teammates and everything like that responds really well to that. And he's been an absolutely fantastic leader. Oklahoma City was the best team in the clutch this year, and Chris Paul was a big reason for that. And then just watching him and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Dennis Schroeder, just watching him mentor those 2 guys, especially Shai. Dennis is a little older, has been in the league for a while. But Gilgeous-Alexander has really responded well to Chris Paul being there and being the primary ball handler and being that mentor type role. And it's been really fun to watch, that 3-headed monster go to work. So I just want to give the Thunder a huge shout out. They exceeded everybody's expectations, and they're going to be an exciting team for years to come. All right, now let's move on to the Rockets. I'm not gonna lie, their small ball lineup has really impressed me. When they made the trade for Robert Covington for Clint Capella and went all in on this small ball lineup, I had my doubts. Just because, they've always been smaller in the past, but never quite this small. No team in history, I don't think, has ever gone all in on small ball like they have. And it's really worked. Their defensive versatility is outstanding. They switch everything. They never have a truly bad mismatch. Sometimes if they get a post on Eric Gordon, that's not necessarily super great, but they can take it. I think really what makes it work is that they are good defensively, and the key to all that is Robert Covington. That was a great trade by them. He provides some really good interior defense and shot blocking at his size, just enough to make this lineup work. And the Rockets can be super dangerous. I'm really interested to see how that playoff series goes. And then I just want to give credit where credit is due to James Harden. I think that James Harden catches a lot of flack, maybe some of it unwarranted. And I think he's really grown this year because defensively he's a lot better and everything like that. And my Siri just popped up, so ignore that. Anyways. And I think it's mainly just because he doesn't have to carry the load as much offensively. With Russell Westbrook there, he's got another primary ball handler, so he can be better on defense. And last night he made probably the most clutch play of his entire career. Game 7, a game-saving block to seal the game. That was big time by James Harden. So I just want to give him credit where credit is due for that. And then lastly, something that happened literally just this morning, the Nets hired Steve Nash to be their head coach. There was rumors that they were going to go after Greg Popovich. They completely kept this under the radar, which is very impressive in today's world with social media and leaking and everything like that. And I think it's going to be an interesting fix. Steve Nash has never been a head coach before. He's been an assistant and kind of a advisor-type role person before, but never a true head coach. And I think really they hired him because him and KD have a past relationship, and they're good friends. And in the NBA, you gotta keep your superstars happy, or they'll leave, or they'll force their way out. So I think they're doing something right by KD and Kyrie. I think Steve Nash and Kyrie are getting along, and I think Steve Nash understands offensive flow and stuff like that. He was in the 6 seconds or less offense back in Phoenix, so I think he's a really interesting hire. And Nets can be really, really exciting next year. Kyrie, KD, Jared Allen, Spencer Dinwiddie, DeAndre Jordan, all of them. They're going to be an interesting core, and I think they'll definitely contend for an NBA title, especially if Nash can bring his offensive philosophies to fruition like he did back in Phoenix. All right, thank you for checking out today's video. Make sure you like this video, leave a comment, subscribe, and make sure you check out the link content right here. You have a great day.